No problem.
Few seconds, get everything going. Okay, we're good there. Hello, everybody. We're getting Instagram going next. Takes Instagram a few minutes to think. Oh, YouTube's working. Let's see if Instagram's working. Yes, it is. Hello, Disney Lilo and Phoenix 34 and Matt Baxter 1 over on Instagram, and Andrew and everybody. Hey, everybody, it is Wednesday night, and we're getting ready to record Monday's podcast, which will come out in July. Can you believe it? Holy cow. But I'm excited because this show coming out in July means I'm getting ready to go on my cruise, which I can't. Everybody's like, shut up, Mike, about your cruise. Just go on it by now because you keep talking about it. Yes. Now, so Molly's going to be our guest here in a second. We're going to talk about her trip. It's going to work out perfect because I have a way to work this in because it was a trip from January. I know it's July, it's June, whatever. I have an angle. I always have an angle to work it. But Molly, have you done a Disney cruise before?
No, I have not. I would love to do a Disney cruise, but I haven't done one yet. No.
Well, I'll say you should, and if you do, it's dangerous because you get hooked, and then
Yeah.
they get all your money, and they're not cheap.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, because like I've got this one booked, and then of course we're doing the podcast cruise now next July on the Magic, and I'm already because then Disney announces all the 25 and 26, like late 25 and 26 cruise, which that's been my life this week booking those for guests. So of course the worst thing being a travel agent is like, okay, I'm booking Treasure for this family. I'm booking, the Fantasy's doing this. That itinerary looks awesome. Like, oh my gosh, like all day I'm like, dude, I need to go on that one. It's terrible. Like it's terrible to be a travel agent when you got to look at all this stuff all day. I'm like, man, I need to be on that sailing. I need to be on that sailing. And then Scott just texted me at dinner a few minutes ago. Like, dude, I'm on my balcony. It's 11 o'clock PM and look at the sunset. I mean, it was sunset. It's 11 o'clock because he's so far north up in Norway.
Yeah.
He's living his best life. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're killing me, Scotty G. I love you, but you're killing me. Living his best life, man. He's in all the fjords and man, he's never going to stop talking when he gets back. I mean, forever he'll be talking about this cruise.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's Disney Lilo. She sent me I still have. Is it back on my shelf? It's in the studio somewhere. I have a Funko from Puerto Rico that Disney Lilo over on Instagram gave me years ago. Says I should do a Puerto Rico itinerary in fall of 25. You know what? I might have to do that. And I'm not kidding. I promise we'll start here, Molly. But one of the things I'm excited about, and this is so crazy, but when we're in St. Thomas, we're going to go like, there's like a Skyliner kind of thing, like a bucket thing that takes you to the top of, the highest point in St. Thomas. There's like a little open air bar when you get up there. We're going to have this thing called the Bushwhacker. It's their famous drink, whatever. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to try it. Anyway, you go up there, we're going to have lunch and this little Bushwhacker drink. But they say on a clear day, if you look, you can see all the way to Puerto Rico. And so I've never seen Puerto Rico, obviously. Wow. And my favorite ball player is from Puerto Rico. Well, second favorite ball player, Yadier Molina. So I'm going to be looking, Disney Lilo, and be looking out to Puerto Rico. Hopefully be able to see your beautiful island and wave to where Yachty's from. So that's one of my things I'm definitely looking forward to on my cruise in 10 days. So I'll be waving.
Sounds awesome.
I know. I'm super excited. Okay. So, we got comments here. All right. So let me say hello to Margie. Let me say hello to Mohawk, Scotland. Hello. We're over there in Scotland tuned in. He says, hello, Molly.
Hello.
And then we got Dennis. He's down in Texas, even though what's the deal with the Chicago Bears helmet? I don't know what that's all about. Mohawk is way past his bedtime. Yeah, super late there. I don't know. Stay up and go to bed. I don't know. And then Fulton, he's in Indiana, so he's tuned in on YouTube. All right, so we got to get to work. I have my fajitas, so I'm pumped up. So here we go. We're going to talk Christmas in July because it will be July 1st on Monday. That's my angle, I think. Let me check the calendar just to make sure because I always mess it up. Today's it is July 1st. We got it. That's our angle. Even though we're going to talk about January, it's close enough to Christmas. Yeah. All right. Close enough. Like horseshoes and hand grenades, like my grandpa used to always say. Okay, here we go. Here we go. My grandpa used to say a lot of stuff that we probably shouldn't say in 2024.
Yeah.
Country boy. All right. Let's see. 2514. Christmas is July. Do they still have QVC? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Okay.
They
We're gonna do they? I don't know. We're gonna do it though today because that's how we're swinging this thing in here. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2514 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend and squeezed every last ounce of fun out of the month of June as we wrapped up that great month, that great summer month. But heck, we are moving into the month of July. Can you believe it? The 4th of July coming up here this week, Independence Day here in the United States of America. And we are going to sprinkle in a little holiday magic throughout the month of July to kind of at least mentally cool us off here in the Northern Hemisphere. Because if you're in a place that's anything like where the Be Our Guest Podcast Studios is located, it has been hot. It has been like the devil's front porch here many days where I try to, Riley's my kind of grand golden doodle that has been we've inherited because Paige took the coaching job up in Chicago. And she's never getting this dog back because she's my sidekick. I mean, even more than Scotty G. And at this point, she even looks outside to take a potty break and says, not happening. Too hot. So we're going to try to cool you down with some just holiday talk here and there throughout the month of July to get you ready, because you know what? It's Disney. July means we're like 30 days till the tinsel gets put on Main Street USA. It's already Halloween, right? That's how it works with Disney fans and Disney parks. So, hey, happy holidays to you. But today we're going to have fun. We're going to talk about a trip from this past January to kind of kick things off. We're heading out to New Jersey with listener Molly. Molly, happy holidays. What's going on?
Happy holidays, Mike.
I'm glad to have you. So how are things out on the East Coast this time of year for you guys?
They're good. They've been hot recently because, the big heat wave that's come in.
So now I've always heard, I've never been out that way except for like one day. My dad's friend pitched for the Phillies and he lived in New Jersey, but pitched for the Phillies. I was like 5th grade. I don't remember much. We were just there for a day, but the shore, right? That's the thing you guys do to cool down. I mean, is that a thing?
Yeah, so I live in New Jersey and I live like 15 minutes away from the beach, so the shore is a big thing for us over here.
I do listen to some podcasts that are out that way. So like I've heard, because I'm like I like retro stuff. I like old arcade games. I like old video game systems, stuff like that. I've heard that on the shore there are like boardwalks that have like old arcades and stuff like that. I mean, is that true? Because that might pull me out there someday. I mean, because I'm a beach guy kind of, but I'd be more apt to do the boardwalk and like the ice cream and the arcades and stuff. Is that a thing? That's what I'd like.
Yeah, it is. So I live about 30 minutes from Asbury Park Boardwalk. That has a bunch of that has an old-timey skee ball, arcade kind of place, and with pinball and stuff like that. So that's really fun. There's also ice cream and stuff like that along the thing. It's really fun.
Now you're speaking my love language right there with skee ball and pinball. No, but I will. So little known fact. I just want to tell everybody this because, we've been doing this show for over 16 years at this point, and people know way more about me and my family than anybody could have ever expected. But one thing you might not know about my wife, Pam, she's the Fats Domino of skee ball. Do not take her on in skee ball. She's a hustler. She will whomp you in skee ball. Like she used to just hustle kids at Chuck E. Cheese left and right. I mean, she would go over to that machine and the string of tickets that would be coming out of that thing. I mean, it was like, you'd have to measure that thing with like that thing that they roll, like, that they use the roller to measure like distances, the wheel. That's how you'd measure her tickets. She's that good at skee ball. I wish back in the day on Price is Right, they used to have a game, like a skee ball game where you could win all 3 prizes. She should have got on that game. We'd have won trips and cars and everything. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, if you see Pam Rallman, do not play her in skee ball because I'm super competitive. And I was a pitcher and I still can't beat her. It's ridiculous, and it bothers me. Anyway, so we're going to talk about your trip, but first, Disney fandom. Like, where does it start for you? And tell us about your little backstory here as we get going.
So I am 20 years old. I'm a college student. I actually live in Philly for most of the year. My love of Disney kind of started with my mom. My mom is a very big Disney fan. She listens to all the podcasts, anything that you can think of. And I think I kind of inherited it from my mom. I think Disney adultism is like kind of inherited from somewhere in your family. It's what I believe. So I have my mom, and my mom's a really big Disney fan. My aunt, who I went on this trip with, is also a very big Disney fan. So just kind of it's in my family, and I just kind of inherited it from there, and I love it.
So at family gatherings, I would imagine that it's it's kind of a point of emphasis that the conversation comes back to Disney, like somebody just got back from a trip or inevitably somebody's planning a future vacation because with our family, it's kind of the same way, right? My wife Pam has four sisters. They're all pretty big Disney fans. They're actually going on the Disney Wish. Actually, they sail today, July 1st. They're going on the Wish today. Bon
Wow.
voyage. My mother-in-law, her two sisters, my nephew, they're all on the Wish. They're probably like, Mike, why aren't you sailing with them? It's not that I don't like them. I love my mother-in-law and I love my sisters-in-law, but we were just on the Wish. I want to go on the fantasy. That's why we're not. It's nothing like that. Everybody's like, God, I can't believe you're not sailing with her family. No, we were just on a Wish. I want to go on the fantasy. I don't want to go to the Caribbean. I don't want to go to the Bahamas. I'm going to the Bahamas again next summer. We just went to the Bahamas last summer. I got to go somewhere else. I always go to the Bahamas. Anyway, so that's why, because people will be like, it's weird because you're going to be posting pictures. Why are you not sailing with the rest of your family? Because I've already had that question like 12 times, but they're sailing today. But inevitably at family vacations or family get-togethers, birthdays and like 4th of July, for example, we're always talking about Disney comes around. Is that how it is for you guys? I mean, it's like topic of conversation.
Yeah, it definitely is. I feel like I'm always planning a Disney trip. I feel like I always have somewhere I wanna go in my mind, and I'm like, "So how would I plan it out? Like, when can I go, like, in regards to school? Like, when can I go, like, during this time?" And stuff like that, and I'm really big into, like, the festivals and
Mhm.
stuff like that, so I'm like, "If I could go during this time and during this festival," and stuff like that, so that's kind of my sort of mindset and stuff like that.
And it's a good time to go, right? Because during a festival, you not only get all of the benefits of a Disney vacation, but you get the bonus of like you're down there for Festival of the Arts, which I still think is my favorite festival at Epcot. It's kind of low key, but
Yeah.
it's got it's very visual. It's got good eats, it's got great weather, typically great weather, low crowds. It's kind of the hidden gem of the festivals, like Food and Wine was great, but then it got too popular, it got too good. And I think it became a victim of its own success, for a while
Yeah.
there. And it's one of those things. Okay, so let's talk about this trip. Then we kind of bounce at the end and maybe talk a little bit more about how this all works out. But how did it come together? Like this Festival of the Arts trip, was it because you're a college student, you said in Philly? Did this happen? Maybe it was during a school break, or did you have to miss some school or do some work down there during the semester? Because it's the beginning of the semester, so or maybe the end of break, or how did it come together?
So I went in 2023, I went back in May, and it was literally every day it was like 90 degrees.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm not doing that again.
I feel you.
So
My girls were like, because we're going, we sail July 6th. They're like, it's July. Can we please not go in the parks this time? But I feel you. It's hot. They're like, we just want to go to the pool. I was like, okay, I get you. Okay, we'll do that this time. Fine. I know I
yeah.
totally get what you're saying. Go ahead.
So my mom was the one who suggested, well, why don't you go in January? I had a week before I was supposed to go back to school that I had off, and I decided that I was gonna take that opportunity, and it just so happened that Festival of the Arts was starting that week, so that got me even more excited because that's the only one I've never been to is Festival of the Arts, and I was so excited to go and get to experience, like, all the different art around Epcot, the mural that you get to paint and stuff like that. That was really so much fun for me.
That mural's totally my speed, right? Because I cannot draw a stick figure, but I can paint a pixel. You can give me a little sponge, paintbrush and like paint, P12, go over to P12 and make it purple. And then, come back 7 hours later. Oh, Figment. I did that. No, I didn't do that. Pretty cool. I mean, like I had a part of that. Like, it's like, I mean, I'm way older than you, but back in the day with my little fifth grade baseball team, we did like Hands Across America, like in the 80s. Everybody, this was like a racket, right? But I remember we stood in front of a church in my town, and it like 12 o'clock noon on a Saturday or Sunday, like everybody held hands, and apparently everybody across the whole country is supposed to be holding hands. Obviously that didn't happen, but when I was like 10, I thought everybody was holding hands, and it was like to raise money for the famine relief in Africa or something with the We Are the World song. But it was one of those things like, oh, I had a part in it. Like I really did something. I was part of that. I was an artist, and I painted my little square. But it's all in fun, right? It makes it interactive. Instead of being passive, you're active, and you did have a small piece in that mural art. It is fun, but I like seeing. I mean, one of my favorite things about Festival there, I don't know what maybe yours was. I love seeing the sidewalk chalk people with the 3D stuff. That every time that blows me away. Two things: one, how 3D it looks on the pavement, but two, that they're doing it in sidewalk chalk and it just washes away. Like if I'm gonna do something that beautiful, I need that sucker hanging on the wall and like for eternity. Like
Mhm.
I don't want the thing washing away ever. It's too hard. It's too beautiful. But what were some of your favorite things about Festival of the Arts?
I just loved getting to see, like, the art and the different types of paintings people made, like, different interpretations of their experience of Disney and just all the different art, like, pictures of Main Street, pictures of the castle, pictures of, like, different like, Mickey and Walt, like, all these different things were and they're just so beautiful, and I'm like, "This is amazing." Like, I'm a big art person, I go to school, I'm a music student, so just getting to see different artists and their interpretations of things is really, something that I live for.
See, I think it's really cool because I'm not, I'm just very kind of blue collar, and I don't understand the arts. I mean, I try to appreciate them, but you go to school for the fine arts. Like obviously you understand the finer things, which I think that's super cool to go to a festival like that because you could appreciate it definitely on a better level than I can. I'm very much like, oh, that's very neat looking. But I think that's really cool though that they can do that because it makes me want to come back and I appreciate just how talented people are, right? Because when to me, and this is just me from again, I do the Mike in the Midwest show for the Patreon show, and honest to God, this is the truth. Like, I'm here from Missouri, and when I see these people making that sidewalk chalk art, like a lot of times they just look like the guy that could be, checking out your groceries it down at my local grocery, store. And here they are, like this is exquisite. Like this is that thing you are creating that you started when I walked past at 9:15 in the morning when I rope dropped Epcot. And then I cruised back through at like 12:45 to go back to Connections to grab a slice of pizza or something that's really come together in these 2.5 hours. And you've been working, guy or lady's been working their tail off on this creation on the ground in the hot sun and all this stuff. It's truly remarkable what they do, but they look so unassuming. Like when I think of an artist, I think of trained, right? Like artists have a certain look to them. But at Festival of the Arts, it kind of a lot of times these artists kind of look like everyday people. Like they could just be a guest there. They could have just jumped off Soarin' or Test Track or Mission Space or something. I appreciate that because it really does bring to me that art is anybody. Anybody can appreciate art, but anybody can create art at the same time. I don't know. Maybe you felt the same way. What's kind of your take of the festival as a whole?
Yeah, it was definitely amazing just to see how talented people are and getting to see something 2 things that I really love, art and Disney come together and just to see especially the sidewalk chalk, that really is some of the most amazing things, and even during the regular like, I love when the people do, like, the water art on the ground,
Mhm.
like, they'll draw a Mickey head on the ground, I'm like, "I can't do that." That's amazing.
Temporary stuff just kills me. I'm like, man, if I make something that nice, I want it to last. And it just it's like, the kids in Snapchat and stuff, the ephemeral stuff, that goes away in 12 hours. Like, I can't do that even with like tweets and messages and stuff. Like, I need it to be in my feed so I can go back and I'm never gonna go back and look at that Instagram post, but I want it to be there. Like, I can't have stuff disappear. I'm old. I'm old, man. I keep the I have trapper keepers from elementary school. That's how old I am. Anyway, so let's take a way step back though. How did this trip come together? Because you went down with your aunt and you guys decided you had this time off. How'd you decide like where you're going to stay? You stayed at Caribbean Beach. Great choice. But like in the planning stages, how did you like reach out and how did you guys like get it together? Because planning is half the fun, especially for our audience. It's like 75% of the fun. How'd it go?
Yeah, so for me, I really wanted to stay at some place that had Skyliner access. I had not really used the Skyliners when I was there on my last trip, and I knew Caribbean Beach was kind of like the hub. That was kind of where all the connections for the different resorts and like Hollywood Studios and Epcot, that was kind of where it was. So I decided to do Caribbean Beach based off of that. I also really wanted to stay at Caribbean Beach. I'm trying to stay at a different resort that I haven't stayed at every time that I go. So that was a big thing that I had in mind. I also went by myself in 2023 and I'm like, I don't really want to do that again. So I just randomly asked my aunt, I'm like, hey, I'm going to Disney in January. Do you want to come with me? And she said yes. And we kind of started planning our trip together like that. One thing that was big for my aunt was my aunt is a vegan. So what we really had to take into account and what was fun for me was getting to see the different plant-based options that were at each restaurant. And I made like a list for her and she got to see like all of the options and what was at each place, like what could be made vegan. And that she found really helpful when she was planning out where she wanted to eat.
So just kind of skipping to let me stay with Caribbean Beach here for a second. Then I'm going to ask you about that because I think that's super important for guests that are heading down that that eat vegan and are looking for that kind of information because this will really be great. Give a review of Caribbean Beach though. Did it meet your expectations? Did you find any challenges? Did you find any like secret things that you found really nice about the resort that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, so I stayed at in the Aruba section. I was put in the Aruba
Mhm.
section, and what is really cool about that particular section is it's right next to the Riviera Skyliner stop. So you basically can get on that, and that will take you straight to Epcot. And if you want to go to Hollywood Studios, you would have to go and change the car, but it's a really neat thing that it's right there. Like, literally, I could see it from my resort room, so that was something that I really, really loved about Caribbean Beach. Other than that, I loved it. I liked the vibe of the resort. I really liked, Centertown Market, which was a great place to just kind of come to after a day in the park, but other than that, it was really fun. I liked it.
Yeah, Caribbean Beach, I really like Aruba and I really like Jamaica, which are kind of they're adjacent to each other, right there
Yeah.
in that kind of section across from Centertown Market, from the lake or the lagoon. And they're between the Skyliner and the Riviera. And you're right, Aruba's on the side that's closer to the Riviera, but the advantage there, like you said, the Skyliner station for the Riviera access, but also the Riviera dining. If you want to go over there and go to Primo Piatto or Bar Riva if you want to, or just you have options. You know what I'm saying? You could go across the bridge over to, Centertown, or you could go to the Riviera, which Primo Piatto, I think, is a sleeper kind of service. Did you guys do any of that? Did you guys take advantage of Riv or no?
No, I didn't really look into Riviera. I probably should've, but I've never been there. I've heard good things about the Riviera, though.
It's gorgeous. I know. I took my 16-year-old there. Well, I took her there when she was 14, and now she doesn't hounding me all the time to stay there, and it's expensive. I'm like, I should have never. She's got bougie taste. That's the word she uses. She tries to make me broke, more broke than I am. That's terrible. I should have never let her see the Riviera. I should have told her, "Oh no, that's about that." I should have told her that's an extreme value hotel. That's why it's like gray and it's super tall. It's like it's below Pop Century. Like you don't want to stay there. It's super value. Like that's what I should know. We went in there and it was game over for Dad. And so now, oh man, dude, that girl's gonna be she's gonna just make me broke. That's all daughters do. They make you broke. That's why I got to work 24/7. Anyway, so I'm just telling you, be careful if you go. I've told you about cruises. If you go on your first cruise, you'll be going on your 20th, you'll be broke. If you go on the Riviera, you're gonna want to stay there all the time. It smells great. It's got great dining, and the rooms are awesome. It's a great place, and it's got great location. Okay, so well, let's get back to the vegan dining. So you did the research, which is God, what a great help you're going to be for your aunt there. But how did it end up going for her? Because I see a lot of plant-based options when I'm at Walt Disney World, but again, I don't eat vegan, so I don't know how practical it is. It could be just a token item, but did it work out in practicality that she had a good experience and was able to find stuff that was not just like one thing, a token item on the menu, but was it something that was enjoyable? How'd it go?
Honestly, she was so impressed by the vegan options that were at each place. Like, there were different vegan options, like, one thing I remember very specifically Columbia Harbor House. We went to Columbia Harbor House, and they had vegan crab cakes, which is right on brand for them at Columbia Harbor House. They had at Rosie's in Hollywood Studio, they had a vegan lobster roll. They had, like, all these different things that were not necessarily an Impossible Burger, because that was her big concern. She's like, "I don't wanna be going there and just eating an Impossible Burger,
Yeah.
like, everywhere we go." So, she was highly impressed with all of the different options that she could get, and she, I think, only ate an Impossible Burger maybe once or twice throughout the whole trip, and she was very, very pleased with that.
So is that kind of see, again, I don't eat vegan, so I apologize for not really knowing, but is that kind of the default for a lot of eating establishments that they'll kind of just throw an Impossible Burger or something along those lines on the menu to kind of give the person who's eating vegan that option, but really nothing else? Because I would imagine that you want to give, options just like anything else. If I go, I just eat, what I call normal. I eat anything, but I have like a fish option. I have, red meat option. I have a pasta typically, I have all my options, but I mean, I hope she had at least like two or three or four options every time she went to a restaurant.
Yeah, so what she really liked was that a lot of the restaurants didn't offer necessarily the same thing. So, like I said, at Columbia Harbor House, they had, which is they're a seafood place, so on brand for them, they had vegan crab cakes, which she loved and she found delicious. Centertown Market has a killer, like, harvest plant-based breakfast that she was really excited about, and she loved it. Um, like I said, Rosie's and Hollywood Studios, they had a vegan lobster roll that she, again, loved. So a lot of these different options were very good. Disney's, I found, has always been very good with, like, allergies, gluten intolerance, and stuff like that, and the plant-based is no exception.
Yeah, we hear that time and time again that Disney really does go above and beyond with any kind of food accommodations. And a lot of times, yeah, again, we've never been in that boat, thankfully. I mean, like I'm allergic to bananas, so big deal. Like I just don't go. The only problem I ever have with bananas is on the marathon course. Honest to God, like at mile like 18, they're giving up bananas left and right. Mile 22, like they're on both sides of the road. Banana, banana, banana. And I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna kill me. It's like going through a video game trying not to get touched. Because if I touch one, I start breaking out. And I'm just like, oh, I thought running the marathon was hard. It's like trying not to touch a banana at mile 22 is the hardest part. I'll make it this far and then go into epileptic shock or whatever because of this. But anyway, the thing too that I find super interesting is that a lot of times I've heard people say that when they have some kind of a food accommodation, that when the chef brings out the modified meal, like a lot of like at a table service restaurant, for example, if you do that, like they'll talk to the chef and the chef will be like, oh, I'll get you something that's off menu, right? That'll work with your allergy or whatever accommodation you need. So the chef will come rolling out with the meal and everybody else at the table will be jealous of this modified meal that the person with the allergy, it's getting. Like, I want that. You know what I'm saying? You know, because like, you know, Disney really does try to accommodate. So not only that you get an equal experience, but a lot of times I think the chefs at Disney see it as a chance to kind of make that person's day and exceed the expectations, which always makes me excited. I love seeing stuff like that. I've heard that
Yeah,
time and time again.
definitely.
That's pretty cool. Now, in this trip, it looks like you did half and half, kind of with your aunt and without. Is that
Mhm.
right? So, do you have any tips for solo? Because you went solo the previous time. You said you didn't want to do that again, but tell us about, because I go solo sometimes and I go with my family sometimes. It depends if I'm at my family doesn't like to go and I go to the races. What are your thoughts on solo traveling down there? Any tips or anything like that?
So personally, I love solo traveling. I felt that when I went solo, I was able to kind of do what I want, avoid what I want, and just be free to kind of do whatever. I really love the character meet and greets. Sometimes people don't want to do that. And when I went solo, I could do that. So I guess maybe a tip that I would have is again, kind of plan your day. So, like, I would do a park in the morning, then take a break, and then do a park at night. I guess that could work for, like, any family, but that was what worked for me.
No, I totally agree with that strategy because it makes it like almost 2 days in one, right? You get like a chunk of the morning, little break, reset, total reset, and it's almost like day two at night, but it's still the same day. But you get a total reset and kind of a whole restart of a day. I totally like it. And the parks are totally different experiences at night too. And I think it just gives you like brain a reset and kind of a new experience when you go into a different park, Animal Kingdom in the morning, then you're at the studios at night, like it really is. I think that's kind of the way to do the parks if you have the park hopper, which if you can get it, that's a good thing. Um, so what are some of your favorite things to do, especially during this trip? You were there in January, so the weather's not hot this time. I was there about the same time because it's a marathon weekend ish time. I think the weather was pretty nice last year, if I can recall. I can't remember too much, but it wasn't one of the extreme years. We've had years where it's been super hot and super cold. I don't remember either one of those this past year, but what stood out for you as far as we'll talk about the after hours event at the Magic Kingdom here as we wrap, but other than that, what were some of the highlights of like theme park time for this trip?
So, the highlights of the trip were definitely getting to experience the things that with my aunt that my aunt had never experienced before. So, doing, like, any of the rides in Toy Story Land, doing the rides in Star Wars Land, and then doing stuff that I hadn't done before. Like, one of my favorite things of the whole trip was Journey of Water, which
Mhm.
I really, really loved. I know some people have mixed feelings about it, but I really loved it. I remember just being so in awe by the theming, by how interactive it was, the big statue of Tafiti, how accurate that was. Just all of that was really amazing for me. Obviously, the Magic Kingdom, one of my favorite rides of all time is the People Mover. I think I went on the People Mover, like, 5 times
Hey, that's how you're supposed to
on the trip.
vacation. That ride is vacation. You know what? Like you don't have to have your hair on fire on every attraction. You need to sit down and it's a moving bench and just take it in.
Yeah, so the People Mover was a lot of fun for me. Um, I remember just getting to experience Luminations for the first time, which I absolutely loved. My aunt and I sat down in Norway with, like, little treats that we'd gotten from the bakery in Norway and watched Luminations for the first time. It was unreal.
Oh, you said Illuminations and my heart luminous because Illuminations was my favorite. I thought they brought it back for a second. You scared me there. Oh, anyway. Oh, yes, wow. I wish
Oh, Luminous!
luminous. I'm not giving you a hard time, but when you said that, my heart skipped a beat because I'm like,
Oh,
oh, I wish, I wish, because that hit me in all the feels. I love Illuminations was my all-time favorite. I wish you were sitting in Norway watching Illuminations, but we're
yeah,
not going to talk about that tonight. You saw Luminous, and I know what you're talking about.
Luminous.
It's
Yeah,
okay. I still haven't seen it. I want to see it though. It looks awesome. I just haven't because it was showing when I was down there for marathon weekend, but it's a terrible idea to stay up for the fireworks when you got to be on the bus at 2:30 a.m. That's just not asking for
yeah.
That's asking for all kinds of trouble. As bad as I want to see it. So, so you like the people who, what's, I just like throwing kind of some crazy questions in here. What's your favorite attraction at Walt Disney World? Just curious, besides People Mover.
Oh, that's a really good question because I have a lot of favorites.
I know.
Um,
Mine
I
changes
think
all
one
the time.
I think one that stands out for me, and it stood out the last trip I went on, which I was like, "I can't even believe I like it so much," is Spaceship Earth
That's a
was
good
another one.
classic. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
icon. I mean, it's an opening day and it's an icon. And I mean, it's the essence of Epcot. It's
Yeah.
you cannot argue with that, even though living with the land is a good one too. But we'll go with that. Okay, how about this? What's your favorite restaurant? If you could have right now, if I say go any restaurant at Walt Disney World, Be Our Guest podcast pays. Where are you going?
Beaches and Cream.
Oh, see, good call. See, some people would stick it to me and say we're going to Victoria and Alberts, and I'm like, no, you're just going there because it's most expensive. Beaches and Cream is where it's at. That's a good place.
I love that. I
Oh.
love Beaches and Cream.
So what do you like about it? What makes you say that?
I think it's nostalgic for me. I remember, we went in 2016, my mom, my dad, my brother, and I, we all went to Disney for in October because we were going for, the Halloween party, and that was always the first restaurant we went to was Beaches and Cream, and I would always get, like, a hamburger, and I would get, like, a little cookies and cream
Mhm.
sundae, so it was always it's, I think, nostalgic for me, and also the food is really good.
Oh, it has just a cool vibe about it. I don't know, maybe because like Jersey, it's got kind of maybe it has kind of that East Coast like vibe. I don't know, because like the boardwalk is across the way. Because again, I've never been there, but that's kind of in my mind's eye what I'm picturing, like the boardwalk and the beach club and Atlantic
It does.
Seaboard or whatever they call it. Because for somebody from the Midwest, that's what I feel like. Ooh, I'm like on the Eastern Seaboard and I'm on the boardwalk, and I'm at Beaches and Cream having a nice, I don't know, whatever. We're all making believe when we're at Walt Disney World, and that's my make believe when I'm there. So don't spoil my
Yeah.
phone. So yeah, the good call. Okay, one other thing. Favorite. I was gonna ask. If hotel favorite Walt Disney World resort. If you could pick one, you don't have to have stayed there, but if you just pick one of any of them, which one would be your favorite?
Ooh, that's a good one. I have to go with, Yacht Club, Yacht and Beach Club.
Look at that. See, you got Beaches and Cream right there at your hotel. So
Yeah.
between beach. Okay, here's the debate though in our family. I got to see since you said that. Would it be yacht or beach? Because my wife and I go back and forth on this one all the time. Because they're the same hotel basically, but they just have different kind of just looks to them, different aesthetics.
So I really don't have a preference, but my mom would pick Yacht Club
Same.
every
See,
day.
that's my side, but my wife likes beach. But so Beach Club's closer to Epcot, so that's the advantage, right? Beach Club is closer to Epcot if you're walking in the International Gateway, and it's more pastel-y. Like it's got that baby blue or whatever, I don't know, ocean blue, whatever, foam blue people call it. Yacht Club has more of the darks, like the nauticals, and I like that.
Yeah.
But I still remember on one of our trips, this is when Paige, my oldest, who's 27, like she was like 9 or something. This was a long time ago. We didn't know what we were doing. This is way before the podcast. We were like the people, that from the Midwest that were just at Walt Disney World, didn't have a clue. The only thing we had was a Burn Bombs book, and we were doing everything wrong. We had a digital camera. This was well before like smartphones, and our digital camera died. We needed AA batteries. I think we were at Beaches and Cream probably that night. So we walked over to the yacht club, went to the gift shop to buy battery AA's for the digital camera, the Sony, and we went into the gift shop at the yacht club, and it was like dead quiet in that hotel. And my wife, dead serious to this day, I'll never forget her turning to me and said, I don't think they allow kids in this hotel because it was so quiet in there. And it was like, like in the yacht club, it's like dark woods and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they have to allow kids in this hotel. It's Walt Disney World. Like it's families. I don't think they not allow kids like anywhere at Walt Disney World, but maybe I'm like, it is quiet. It's weird. I didn't think about that, but it's dead quiet. And it was like 7:00, in the evening. I guess everybody was at dinner or at the parks. It was dead in the summer. It was the weirdest thing. And then she's like, because we had just come from Beaches and Cream, and we were over at the beach club, and it was like a nut house. I mean, it was like a free for all their lobby. Like kids were screaming and crying and jumping over the globe, and I mean, it was just like a madhouse. And we were over there in the yacht club, and I mean, you could have heard a pin drop. She was like, "I don't think they allow kids on this side." I was like, "Maybe." It was the craziest. That's why I like yacht club, because I taught school. I don't need to be around. No, I'm just kidding. But no, that's fun. Okay, so you also did after hours at the Magic Kingdom. So give us a quick review,
Yes.
because Scotty G loves these things. I'm too cheap, but how was it?
I would say it is expensive, but in my opinion, it was worth every single penny.
Everybody
Every
says
single penny.
everybody says that.
We were able to hit almost every single ride in the park without like, we were able to walk onto Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I've
Oh my
never,
God.
ever done that before.
You know what? I've
Just
done that once in my life, and it was at the media event before it opened to the general public, and that was the last time in 2014. That was it.
because I always do, Genie Plus or Fast Pass for that ride, so to get to walk onto it was such a weird experience for me.
Like, am I Elvis? Like, what's going on here? We're Elvis, dude. I'm 90 years old. Pick somebody, Kim Kardashian or something. I don't know. It's crazy. But you get the treats and stuff too throughout the party, right?
Yeah, so we got, like, popcorn, water, soda, like, all the ice cream novelties, and that was a lot of fun too, but just getting to walk through the park, and it wasn't that many people, and being able to walk on to almost every single ride was what really made it worth it for me.
So when you were down there, because you were there from the 8th to the 14th of January, so the holiday decorations were still up for at least part of your trip, right? Did you?
Yes, so the first
Everything.
day I was in Animal Kingdom, like, they still had the tree up, there were still decorations, they were still playing, like, Animal Kingdom-ified holiday music, and I was like, "What is going on here?"
Yeah, because they play it through marathon weekend, because we always have it playing during the races, like the background loops and the trees are up for the pictures. It's always wild, because Christmas had come and gone a few weeks, at that point. But now let me ask you, is that something that you appreciate at that point of the year, or is it something that you wish on a trip that's the second moving, first to moving into the second, almost to the third week of January? Would you rather the parks be back to normal at that point?
I think it was twofold because it was the same thing with World Showcase. World Showcase still had all their Christmas decorations up, they were still playing Christmas music. It was fun to get to see all the Christmas decorations, like, I have a picture like, I took a picture in front of the Animal Kingdom tree, so it was fun to see all of the Christmas decorations up, but at the same time, I was, like, kinda over Christmas
I
at
know
the
it is
time.
weird. I get it. I get it. I know, because I'm like, because I look at my pictures, right? And I'm like, was that Walt Disney World for Christmas that year? I'm like, no, that was January 12th. It's like, I went to this marathon. That was a long time after Christmas. But I also get it though, because you know, uh, not everybody gets to go, and everybody gets a kick out of seeing the Christmas tree on Main Street, right? I mean, even if it is in January, like I still do. Like I'm a huge Christmas fan. I like seeing it, but it is still kind of weird to see it like on January. It's almost Martin Luther King Day, and it's like tree's still up. Like if I did that at home, my HOA would be like sending me a notice. I'd be getting in big trouble. Mike, take the thing down. Take that tree down. Take your life record. Come on, man. It's almost Valentine's Day. Because, Disney's always getting ready for the next holiday. Like they hang on to Christmas like nobody's business. So,
Yeah.
let's talk just a little bit more about this trip as we kind of wrap those. So, anything like other like little minor things that happened during the trip or big highlights? Just a couple more stories from the trip. What else?
Um, Let me think. Um, my aunt going on Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time was probably one of my favorite things on the whole trip because I kept telling her before she went on the ride, I'm like, "Okay, this is intense. Like, this is
Yeah.
intense if you haven't been on a ride like this." And she's like, "Okay, yeah, fine." We go on the ride, she gets off, and, like, there was a point where her hair was, like, flying off this ride,
Yes.
and we get off and she goes, "That was intense."
Is she a coaster person in general or no? I mean,
She is, like, as we've gotten older, like, there are some rides that we won't do, but she was game for pretty much anything.
oh, here's the question. Would she do it again?
I think she would. I think there were some rides that she, was not keen to do again. Like, I don't really love doing Smuggler's Run because I get a little bit of motion sickness on that
Same.
ride.
I'm getting the same way. Especially if you get like a 6-year-old that's the pilot, you're
Yeah.
done. Hear that thing, please. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that and Star Tours. Whew. And I love Star Wars, man. It's like it just tears me up because Star Wars is like one of my favorite movies. Like 2 rides. I love rides.
Yeah.
It doesn't get me, but yeah, I get you. So, did you guys have any other outstanding meals besides like the vegan experiences? Like anything like you guys do mostly quick service or do you guys do any table service?
Beaches and Cream was the only table service one that we did. We did mostly quick service. Anything that was, like, kind of seafood related really stood out for my aunt. Like, she really loved the crab cakes from Columbia Harbor House. She loved the lobster roll from, Rosie's in Hollywood Studios. So, just those different things were really good for her.
Cool. So do you have any trips on the books or at least in the blue sky stages coming up? Anything in the future?
I hopefully wanna go back next January. Fingers crossed that that happens. I'll be 21, and one of my goals is to drink around the world for that
Oh,
trip.
oh, be careful. I've been at Epcot too many times where people have glorious dreams of drinking around the world and they fall apart, usually around Italy. I'm just saying, they're a mess. I've seen people jumping into the lagoon. Please, no, just drink responsibly.
Yes.
So dang expensive at World Showcase. You'll run out of money before you run out of courage, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah,
No, that'd be
probably.
awesome. No, it's a good place. Just go down there with your friends and have a good time. It's a great place to bring in 21, I would imagine. I never did it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'm too Epcot wears you out, man. I wouldn't if I started in Mexico, I'd be toast by China. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it around the corner. I would not even make it to the outpost. I'm a lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan says in the chat, he's on Facebook. Make sure you start in Mexico. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's where I would start because I'm telling you, I wouldn't even make
Yeah.
it to China. Be rough. Anyway, well, hey, great show. I mean, we got a little Christmas talk in here. Got to talk Caribbean Beach, some great resorts, and a little vegan advice for folks that are heading down. It's a lot of fun, and what a way to start July. So, Molly, thanks for coming on the show, and hope you have a great summer. And holidays will be here before you know it. So, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much, Mike.
All right. Don't forget our podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney vacation, whether it's to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney. We're standing by right now. And the best part, no additional cost to you. So check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You make all these shows possible. Couldn't do it without you. And our patrons get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. You can support us for just $5 a month and get that bonus show every week. So come on over, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. All right, now here, a couple things. You need to follow me on the social media because I'm getting on the Disney Fantasy. I almost said the Wish. That'd be the wrong ship. That'd be a trip. I get on the wrong ship and I'm going to the wrong place. I'm getting on the Fantasy on Saturday, so I'll be tweeting all kinds of fun there and going to Old Key West the night before on Friday. So lots of content coming your way. So follow me at BeOurGuestMike on Instagram. That's a great place. Twitter or Threads. I'll be posting there. And you need to come over and join about 1,000 of our listeners in the clubhouse. We talk Disney 24/7, especially with all the changes to Genie Plus and the multi-day, single day lightning lanes and all the changes that have happened. I mean, when that was announced out of nowhere last Wednesday or Tuesday, our clubhouse was smoking. I almost had to call the fire department. There were so many posts and so many theories going around and so many discussions as to how to take advantage of the new system. It was only 17 minutes old, the message. And we already had discussions and theories and strategies happening in our clubhouse. You need to get over there. These are your people. So come on over today. It's beourguestpodcast.com/discord. We have a great time 24/7, and I'll give you a personal welcome as you come on in. So come on over. And let's see, I think that's about it. We will not have a live call-in show this Sunday night because I can't do one from the middle of the ocean, but we'll have one when I get back the next week. So take a Sunday night off, go play golf or watch a ball game or something. Enjoy your family. That's what I'll be doing. All right. So for Molly, I'm Mike. Oh, wait, I didn't realize this is a Mike and Molly show, like that old TV show on CBS. Look at that. We should have gone with that at the top of the show. We 42 minutes in, we figured it out, but it's Mike and Molly. Anyway, for Molly out in New Jersey, I'm Mike here in Missouri. We hope you have a great Monday. You guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Yeah, we totally should have led with that. And it was right there on the screen the whole time.
Yeah.
Man, look at that. Boom, Mike, Molly, boom. Anyway, well, that's bad. Wait, great show. That was so much fun. And we'll have this out on Monday. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. See you guys, everybody. Have a good night. Oh, hey, everybody watching live. Maybe a live call-in show tomorrow night, Thursday night, to talk about the changes to Genie Plus. I just want to get everybody's hot takes, theories, strategies, all about the new FastPass Plus paid version system. So stay tuned for that. If we do a live call-in show tomorrow night, I'll put it out on the socials. I'll put it in the clubhouse, but I need to stack shows for the week that I'm out on the cruise in 2 weeks, in like 10 days. So I might record one early tomorrow night. And that's what I would do. I just take your calls and just get 45 minutes of your calls and just talk about the system, what you think, how to catch you, what are your thoughts on it? Why do you think it happened? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it indifferent? So if you could join me tomorrow night, Thursday, let me know. Come over to the clubhouse and give me some feedback on that. Hit me up, and if Thursday night, around 7 Eastern, to be a good time for about a 45-minute call-in show, and we'll make it a podcast for the week I'm out on the cruise. All right, gonna jump out of here. Cardinals are winning 2-0. That's good news over the Braves. Lost the first one today, but this one's looking better. So you guys have a good night. Hopefully we can get together tomorrow night, take some calls, and appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great month. No, it's Wednesday. I don't know what day it is, but whatever it is, have a great night, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.